Welcome back, Trekkies. Today we're diving deep into the freshly released teaser for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. Now, this teaser is packed with intriguing visuals and hints about the upcoming season. So let's break it down scene by scene. So before we get right stuck into it, I just want to tell you a little bit of a story. So yesterday, actually, before I go into that, yesterday was the day that the teaser dropped. But just as in the afternoon, because I have medical conditions, I'm not ashamed to admit, medical conditions that affect my energy levels quite dramatically. I was just about to take a nap in the afternoon when my phone pings and Paramount drops the teaser video. So the first thing I did, obviously, I watched it straight away. And the first thing I did was I put my nap on hold. I mean, it never happened in the end. And I rushed to make a quick video about one of the characters in that teaser video because I felt it was really important it gets out to you. So do have a look at my Trelane video on the channel because it cost me basically to make it for you. I mean, I'm happy to do it, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it did cost me. So do have a look at it, give it a like, and make a comment as to whether or not you agree with my opinions on it. But here we are the next day. So the teaser dropped yesterday, and I wanted to make a more in-depth video about it. So here we are. So the teaser opens with a vintage movie reel style image, setting a quite a nostalgic tone. This could hint at retro themed episodes, or is it paying homage to classic sci-fi cinema? Next, we see the Enterprise looking all majestic, flying towards the camera, reminding us of the adventures that await. Then we spot Lieutenant Kirk, Christine Chapel, Erica Ortegas donned in 1950s sci-fi attire on a bridge. Very reminiscent, I felt, of the original series. Now, this scene suggests quite a playful episode, possibly exploring themes of classic science fiction. And I just love the huge levers that Erica gets to play with in that. If you note as well, the chair that Lieutenant Kirk is sitting in really does look very, very much like Kirk's chair in the original series. Now, I've been looking as well at this logo that we see on Kirk's chest. It seems really, really reminiscent to me of something. It's like, when you get a word on the tip of your tongue and you can't quite get it. I feel certain I've seen it somewhere, but I've done a lot of searching and I can't find it anywhere. It's not Captain Proton. It's I've tried looking Legends of Tomorrow and they did a Star Trek parody, and could it have been that? I've looked at Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon. Yeah, I've tried searching and I can't find it anywhere. If you know in the comments where it's from, do please put me out of my misery and put a comment below. Because I can't seem to find it. It's quite possible, this is my best theory at the moment, is that it's just a really well designed logo to give you the impression that it's generic sci-fi. That's my best idea at the moment. So let me know what you think on that. You have Captain Pike in the captain's chair wearing a tactical outfit, saying, "Let's hit it," indicating high stakes missions and intense action sequences. Then an old style cinema card saying 10 new adventures, confirms the episode count for the season, and obviously hints at diverse storylines. So then we have Spock and Laan in it looks very clearly to be a holodeck to me. Laan in 1970s attire. Now this raises questions about Some people are saying, oh, maybe time travel, simulated realities, and certainly Spock's line suggests something like that. But I think they're conflating sort of two completely separate issues here. And what we're seeing is a holodeck. And now some people have said, oh, but we didn't have holodecks until the next generation. So just to give a bit of a sort of deep dive into this, we in the animated series, we did have holodecks on board the Enterprise. Now, obviously, that's a few years after this, but the technology would have been around at least. And of course, in Enterprise, remember the episode where Trip gets pregnant? That happened on a holodeck. Now, it wasn't a sophisticated holodeck. They couldn't create people or animals, things like that, but they could create places, scenery. I think it's reasonable to say that in the time that's passed since the time of Enterprise, that technology has advanced, and I think what we're seeing here is an early version of a holodeck. Then we get a rapid number of shots. We get a mysterious planet, or is it a sun, or something going on? That blue thing. We get number one and Doctor Mbenga. The dialogue that we get between number one and Doctor Mbenga. I see it, I don't believe it. Exciting, isn't it? This dialogue conveys astonishment, obviously, and it suggests encounters with things that have been unprecedented. Then we get this character very reminiscent, of course, of Trelane. We've got frilly cuffs, we've got medals, sideburns. I'm certain this is absolutely certain this is Trelane being portrayed by Rhys Darby here from the Squire of Gothos. Now, I did this is what I did a video about yesterday, so do go and check that out if you haven't seen it already. I go into this in a bit more detail, so we'll skip fairly quickly on from this. Then we get a card saying romance. So this suggests deeper character relationships in this season. We get a surprisingly intimate scene between Spock and Chapel, which hints at their relationship evolving and their personal story arcs going somewhere with this potentially. Now, Windgrace did a video about this teaser yesterday and pointed out that Chapel is wearing a ring. Now, at the time, Windgrace thought maybe it was a wedding ring. I think I pointed out that actually it's a looks to me like an engagement ring. So maybe this is Chapel's fantasy, or it's a dream that she's having, something like that, because of her engagement and her longing for Spock. So this might not be a real event that's happening, but possibly just something in Nurse Chapel's mind. Then we get a very elegantly dressed Uhura having a cocktail with a character that we don't recognize at this time. Looks to me like Ortegas in the background there is wearing dress uniform. So this could be a diplomatic engagement of some description. Then we get an Adosian skillfully sort of shaking cocktails there, which adds a bit of humor and of course nostalgia for long-time fans like myself. I'm trying to think, is this the first time we've ever seen a live action Adoza? Obviously, this is a CGI character, so not really live action, but is it the first time we've ever seen an Adosian in a live action Star Trek episode? Of course, we had Arex in the the original series in TAS in the animated series. We had an Adosian in Lower Decks, but I'm trying to think if we've ever seen one in a live action. Again, drop a note in the comments if there's one that we have seen that I just can't think of at the moment. We cut then to a Vulcan adorned with it looks like to me like some kind of lei. Possibly, but certainly some kind of adornment there around his neck. Holding roses, which is uncharacteristically festive for a Vulcan. So I have a bit of a wild, batshit crazy theory about this. I think this is a character that we were teased last season. I think this is Cybok, quite potentially. Played very clearly here by Oswald Patton, a fantastic actor, and it'd be a waste to have him just as a one-off, I think. So if he's playing Cybok, that would be quite the get. And of course, carrying roses, this might mean we get to see the return of a fan favorite character, Captain Angel. While Captain Angel doesn't appear in this episode, their return would definitely please a lot of people. Then we get a card saying mystery, and we get that, like, the theme of mystery introduced, preparing us for enigmatic plot lines. We see the crew dressed in this 1970s attire, so what La'an was wearing earlier in the holodeck. So I think this suggests a holodeck murder mystery. Now, that would be quite interesting for me to watch as an actor. I've done quite a lot of murder mystery performances over the years, usually like in restaurants and for parties, things like that. They've been a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed murder mysteries. In fact, I've written quite a few as well in the past for charity events. So, yeah, I'll be quite interested to see if they're doing a Cluedo style thing or if it's more sort of Agatha Christie. It'll be very interesting to see. Then you get La'an's dialogue saying, "Your host is dead and one of you murdered him." Now, this is a classic murder mystery setup, and it kind of, to me, it confirms that the crew's engaged in some sort of holodeck scenario. Think along the lines of the Royale from TNG, or maybe even Armand Bashir from Deep Space Nine. They're worth thinking back to. Now, this is an interesting one. Analog, of course, implies old school technology, which leads us right into the next couple of scenes. Obviously, Pelia and other crew members running through the corridors with wire. Pelia obviously being a very eccentric engineer, leading the crew through what looks like a major wiring overhaul on the Enterprise. I think we're looking at an old school tech solution to a futuristic problem, perhaps. And her line about "we're going to wire the Enterprise" kind of fits in with this. So clearly something is seriously wrong with the ship, or it's been disabled in some way, and the crew are having to wire it manually. Then we cut to, I think, probably from the same episode, the same system. Maybe it's the communication system that's gone down, because you see Pelia, Ortegas, Mbenga, and Number One using telephones from different eras to communicate. Remember, Pelia had her stash of antiques. I think this is probably where this comes from. So, if I had to give a theory for this, I'd say the communication system's gone down, and they're having to use telephones to reach out and touch each other. There we go. That's an old school reference there. Yeah, so that's my theory on that one. Then we cut to this big flash of light, explosion. Something big is happening here, maybe an energy burst of some description. Could it be tied to this analog tech storyline, or is it something else completely? Then you get a great moment, Uhura and Scotty working together. This obviously could be a crucial mission scene. You get a more light-hearted moment, reminding us of Pike's love for cooking and how the crew bonds over meals. Now, this is intriguing. Pike on a covert mission with the Klingon raider landing, or is it another diplomatic exchange with the Klingons? Raiders aren't generally used in friendly situations, so yeah, it doesn't look good. You get Pelia, Ortega, Spock, Number One, and Benga all looking quite happy and enthusiastic. Is it a moment of triumph, or excited anticipation. Now, this bit's quite unusual. We've not seen a Klingon wield a whip like this before, and the I'm guessing Klingon that it's being used on. Uh, Again, Windgrace pointed this out in his video. Really, really well spotted. Actually, looks to be some kind of zombie Klingon, and then you get Mbenga running away, and again, looks like a zombie. Possibly not a Klingon this time, chasing after him. So, are we doing zombies in season three? That'd be an interesting take to go. Then you get some classic Pike confidence, a high stakes climax where everything hinges on a single decisive action. We only have one shot. That's all we need. You get Ortegas once again, center of the action. Could this be a final moment before a major battle or a way of escaping? That's a photon torpedo button, but one unlike any we've seen before. It's pretty huge. So I'm wondering, is this part of the holodeck sequence, or is it the sci-fi sequence we saw right at the beginning? Although clearly Ortegas is not in that 1950s style get up. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I'll be interested to see how that fits into all of it. You see the Enterprise clearly being hit by something, surrounded by that shield bubble. Is it under attack, or is it encountering a natural phenomenon? It's hard to say from this, but clearly there's some powerful energy-based assault going on to the ship. The Gorn are back, looking absolutely terrifying, and that silhouette of someone possibly wearing a tactical outfit is that Pike. That suggests a showdown is about to take place. And of course, we knew we'd be encountering the Gorn because, of course, Pike has to go rescue Captain Battelle against orders. We know that from the previous teaser that dropped. Full on action here. La'an's personal history with the Gorn is well known, so this moment must be a very big deal for her. Then we see Pike hiding behind a column. Now that looks different from the scene that we've just had with a more organic look, and on what I'm guessing is the Gorn ship. So this suggests multiple battles taking place across different locations. Maybe separate away teams working simultaneously, or maybe these were taken from different episodes. It's really hard to say from this, but to me, it doesn't look like the same location. Something big just went boom here. Could this be the Enterprise taking out an enemy ship, or something much, much worse? Then we get a full-fledged battle. The Gorn are proving to be one of the biggest threats in Strange New Worlds, and this season looks to escalate that conflict. And there it is, season 3 of Strange New Worlds dropping this summer. And if this teaser is anything to go by, it's going to be one hell of a ride. Showcase Netherlands did, it seems, accidentally leak the date that the episode will be dropped. The first episode will be dropped to Strange New Worlds season 3. I did a video about that a few days ago, so go back and check that, and I'll put a link to all the stuff I'm referring to in the comments below, and I'll try and put a link on the screen as well. But yeah, check out the comments below for links to these other videos. And then we get a very nice moment right at the end, very nostalgic moment between Kirk and Scotty, the beginnings of a legendary friendship, as we know. A little bit expected, a little bit on the nose, but I think Strange New Worlds does this from time to time, and it's a difficult path for them to walk, because in Strange New Worlds we know what's going to happen. We know the Enterprise is going to be, captained by Kirk and all the rest of it. We know the characters and who they will become. So it's a really hard sell for them to sort of walk this line of threat and intrigue and character development whilst also paying homage to nostalgia. I think little moments like this really, yeah, it's a fan service moment, sure, but that's not a bad thing, I don't think. So there we go. This teaser packed with action, mystery, humor, high stakes drama from retro sci fi adventures to Gorn battles. Season 3 of Strange New Worlds looks like it's pulling out all the stops. Now, what are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't seen the full teaser yet, check it out. I'll put a link in below to the official teaser. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more Star Trek news. Until then, and until next time, peace and long life, live long and prosper.